If you guys don't want to hear me like ramble on forever, feel free to just like skip ahead until you see like the lifting stuff and you'll get my full meet recap video there. First of all, I want to say thank you so much. Like, I know it can be cringy to watch somebody like talk to themselves essentially, but we're gonna get through this, okay? Like, you and me, we're gonna get through this. No, but seriously, thank you guys. It really means the world to me. And I'd also like to give a big shout out to my sponsor, Left Fly Bros. Left Fly Bros. This is actually their comp tee. They have some pretty awesome stuff. Like, I don't even know how many shirts, but they all are like standout shirts and fanny packs, dad hats, socks, like the designs, the material, like seriously, if you care about me, go to leftflybros.com and use Chi15 at checkout. I'd never say that, but today is the day. And do not use Angelo's code, okay? Angelo already has like 30,000 followers, however many thousands of followers, and I'm sure he gets plenty, so use my code instead of Angelo's. What's going on, guys? It's Enrique Lugo, aka Big Chief Lugo. I am coming to you guys today with this YouTube video to basically just give y'all a meet recap and just like the backstory from some of the training and some of the things that happened at the meet. And there's just, long story short, I've had a lot of people ask me, like, they're basically telling me like, hey, like Jesus and Pablo are coming out with YouTube videos, and now Mikey D's coming out with YouTube videos. And if you're not familiar with like what's been going on the past few months, essentially we have like some of the best lifters training together, and we are basically just they've been prepping for the Powerlifting American Nationals, which is essentially like the key to make it to the IPF World Championships in Sun City, South Africa. So personally, I wasn't even going to compete. Like, first and foremost, I wasn't planning on it. Like, we have USAPL Nationals is actually in Vegas, and so many of my friends are going there. Like, a lot of the best lifters are going there also. And yeah, if you don't know, it's like there's basically like some like political stuff going on, something about money between the USAPL and the IPF. So they had to split part ways, and that is like pretty much just like birthed Powerlifting America National or Powerlifting America. And that's like the route to go to the IPF World Championships. So yeah, again, I really wasn't planning on doing it. I was planning on going to Vegas and kicking it with the boys and having a great time. Because yeah, it sounds more fun, it sounds more enticing, like, but when it comes down to it, I'm gonna have fun. Like, powerlifting is fun regardless. You're gonna make memories, you're gonna make friends, but in reality, like, my goal isn't just to have fun. It isn't to be like a national champion, because I mean, I've had a handful of those, and maybe not in the open class, but I've had like some national championships, and it's cool. But like, I actually just asked my family. I was like, Mom, Dad, there's two different things I can do. I was like, I can go to Las Vegas for nationals. I was like, or there's the World Championships in Sun City, South Africa, and their faces lit up. And even at the time, I was still like, you guys really don't know, like, but they're like, no, it's worlds, like the World Championship. And just with that in mind, I was like, okay, like, I will give it a shot. One of the reasons too was like the nationals for Powerlifting America was going to be held in Austin, which is maybe an hour north from here. So it's kind of like, why not? Why not? So yeah, not only that, but like my training partners, Jesus, Pablo, Michael Davis, they were all planning on going that route anyways. Like they were like, yeah, they basically they felt the same way about it. It's like a national championship is incredible, and like all due respect to all those guys that chose that route. There's a lot of money. There's like the pro division. There's so many things that are positives for that, but we're talking about being a world champion. We're talking about the highest standards being watched by the entire world. And in my mind, I was like, you know what? Like, I kind of don't care. I've always been that type of lifter. Like, I don't care. I don't care about a lot of shit. I don't. Like, I don't care if, like, any little differences, like, you could be natty, you could be non-natty, like, I don't care. Like, I will still want to show up and put my best foot forward, regardless if you're on a deadlift bar, or regardless of, like, whether you have 24-hour weigh-ins or 2-hour weigh-ins. And in my mind, like, the meets were on the same day. They basically set up the competitions to where, like, Nationals in Vegas is on June 12th, and the IPF World Championships is also on June 12th. So I was like, in my mind, it's like, you can compete at either one. And at the end of the day, it's like the highest total wins. Whoever comes out with the highest total between those two competitions for like the natural people is the best in the world on that day. Okay. There's a lot of other variables like Vegas compared to South Africa, you know, traveling, whatever. I don't care. I really don't. Like, just show up regardless of what's going on and put your best foot forward and let the best man win. Okay. So, sorry for rambling for so long. I just wanted to give a little backstory for that. So yeah, leading up to this point, training has been incredible. So many things have just been, I mean, I think honestly, I already know like a big portion of the world is watching us, just because, first of all, we have some of the greatest lifters in the nation right now. And like, with all due respect to the OGs, like Ray Williams, Dennis Cornelius, I don't know who the 105 was, but whoever was in the 105s, like, there's so many great lifters, and it's coming to that point where like there's a new era in powerlifting. There's a bunch of younger lifters who have like dedicated themselves to this craft, and we are trying to just be the best. Like, there was the best of the best this previous generation, and it's like, who's gonna rise to the top, who's gonna rise to the occasion, and who wants to take that throne?
Three white lights.
We're taking it up to 733 for Enrique Lugo.
And here comes Lugo. 332.5 kilo. 733 pounds. Sorry, you about to say?
No, I said he looks ready to go. They had to stop him from
He does.
He's a killer. He looks like a killer.
Now, I had seen him in training videos, training with the likes of Michael Davis, training with the likes of Jesus Oliveras, training with the likes of Pablo Oliveras, training with the likes of, Ashton Rauska. These are the biggest of big names in powerlifting. If that is the level he's used to lifting at, let's see what he brings to the platform. When you have those kind of training partners, you're not likely to get overwhelmed by the moment when you enter a warm-up room and you see all these big names. Oh, wow, that's pretty smooth. What do you think, Delaney?
Yeah, I think that's easy. And to your point about lifting with all those high-level guys, it's like being in the football field or being in the weight room with your guys. Every day is a dog fight, and so you get out there, there's so much energy to be had, and it translates so well. So you're not going to get caught up in the moment. You're going to do it. Okay.
This young man is putting in work today. He's going to need it because Lugo is building his squats as well.
It'll be interesting to see what he puts for his third. I'm not sure how much was left after that, but who knows? It might be a Jamar situation where just the belt was a little bit too low and then you blow it up.
We've seen it. Look,
record.
we've seen people, you're like, he's got to be close to the limit. Comes back out 10 keys more, blows it up. Lugo, 347.5 on the bar, 766 pounds. And Lugo and Nazarod in the midst of a battle. We got one spot on Team USA for a 120. Who's it going to be? Power suit as well, but you know what? Look at, if we're judging and comparing, and we need to, him and Nazarod are both getting a little close. 3 white lights for Lugo, and this is going to come down to who can complete their third squat, and they're both getting close to that limit, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, look, when it's a close battle, it's just about being as perfect as humanly possible. You got to force the guys out the hand. You have to force him to not miss lifts. You have to force him to come out of his comfort zone. And I think that, this is just, it's going to be a good battle all the way through. It's going to be fun to watch.
All right, so squats actually went pretty well. I went 2 for 2. I scratched my third. I know Steve Denovi from 2 White Lights was like, oh yeah, Lugo missed his third. Bro, I didn't miss my third. I didn't take it. Okay. Here's the thing. Like, I had to make a cut. I had to cut about 10 pounds. And I really didn't do much differently. I kept everything the same, like food, sleep, water, walking, up until the day before. And literally the day before, like most of those variables stayed the same. The only thing I did differently was I cut out my carbs and water. So, and really that was all it took. And my body was just literally a furnace. And I woke up the next day at weight, no problem. But people say like cutting doesn't affect you. It does. It really does. You can lose like a little bit of weight. It does. Okay. If you feel smaller, you're going to lose a little bit on the platform. Like knowing that now, like, okay, at the time I was like, no, I'm good. Like, I'm going to do whatever I got to do. I got that dog in me, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? You don't let anything really affect you meet day. You have to get any sort of doubt, just throw it away. Just get rid of it. Like, if you hear any sort of those thoughts, you just have to believe in yourself that you're going to be 100%. So yeah, I opened up 733, and going into it, I was a little nervous because just from like the rehydrating, and I knew like my body wasn't 100% at the time. I was a little worried it's going to move a little slow or like heavy, but considering, I mean, y'all saw it, it moved nice. It actually moved nice. I mean, I just stayed true to the technique, and it followed through. Took a 15 kg jump to 766, and honestly, I know I have more in me. I threw my chest into it. Like, when you throw your chest into it, it really like messes with that. Like, you have your hips and your chest, right? And so when you're coming down, you want to just be one tagged piece, and then you drive the hips and the chest will follow or like stay with it. But whenever you're coming down and you throw your chest up, you're literally just killing your hip drive. So that was one of the reasons why I missed 765 the very, very first time I ever took it. And if you're watching this, Coach Barry, I'm sorry. I will never do it again. But yeah, one thing I did want to mention was when we pulled up to the meet, like for so many meets, like the last, I don't even know, 5-6 years, I've pretty much just been showing up by myself, like handling myself, calling my own numbers. Because I never had a coach. I never like really reached out or looked for anybody else to like handle that stuff. So when I got there, like I was hanging out with the boys, like, and they're all with Flex, and of course they have like a whole like squadron of people. It's really like an amazing family that they have going on and support system. And I talked to Joey, and he was like, hey man, like, he's like, yeah, I'll have one of his guys, forgive me if I don't know your name, buddy. All due respect, like, he's like, yeah, I'll have one of my guys watch over you. And I was like, okay, like, that's cool, man. Like, I'm chilling. Like, you got 5 people here, like, take care of them and don't worry about me. And so for squats, like, I pretty much just called my numbers. I did what I wanted to do. And this is one thing I was gonna say. All right, so going into bench, like, essentially, I'm like, we're hanging out with everybody, all the boys. And then the photographer for Power America was like, hey, like, who's handling you? And I was like, nobody. It's just, I mean, like, the flex guys are kind of watching over me. And he's like, Matt Gary is sitting in the front row, not doing anything. Do you want me to get him for you? And I was like, I know who Matt Gary is. First of all, he's a legend in the game. Like, all due respect. Like, he handled Ray Williams, Dennis Cornelius, like, some of the best people in the world. I'm sure he's handled, I think he handled Joey at one point, like, John Hack, just, you know what I mean? He's one of those guys at the top level for the world championships. And I told him again, I was like, nah, man, like, don't worry about it. Like, the flex guys are kind of like keeping an eye on me. I really wasn't worried about it. So getting ready for bench, I'm doing my own thing. I'm like chilling out. I take my first attempt. And between my first attempt and second attempt, the photographer and Matt Gary come to the door, like, just straight to me. And he's like, respectfully, I don't want to step on anybody's toes. He's like, but do you need me to handle you? And I told him again, I was like, well, the flex guys are kind of like keeping an eye on me, like it's okay. And he's like, do you need me to handle you? And at this point, he's basically telling me, like, I'm going to handle you because I'm going to get this right. I'm going to make sure I'm taking care of you 100%. And, like, yeah. So at this point, the energy in the room shifts. Like, Jesus, Pablo, the flex guys, they're all, like, looking at me like, what is going on? Like, what is going on? You know what I mean? And it wasn't any, like, sort of disrespect or nothing like that. It was literally just, I don't know, man. It just happened. You know what I mean? And he started talking to me about, like, deadlifts and this and that. And I was like, look, I'm benching. I'm going to bench right now. That's all I'm going to focus on. If you want to help me, you take care of that. I'm going to go lift. Like, you let me know when it's my turn to lift, and that's it. Like, normally I'm not a diva or a princess in any type of way like that, but I mean, this is the national champs, and it's, you know, there's very few people I have, like, full 100% trust in their capabilities to be able to handle somebody at that level. And Matt Gary is one of those people. Joey Flex is one of those people. Again, no disrespect to, like, that, whoever that guy is. I mean, he was good with numbers or something like that, but honestly, I'm very grateful for, like, what happened, because I would have, like, shot myself in the foot, honestly. Like, going into deadlifts, I opened up a little bit heavy. You know, I was thinking I was 100%, but I'm very grateful for, like, Mr. Matt Gary, first of all, for taking over the wheel. And so that's it, man. Like, that's it. I literally just got to lift.
That's a powerful man.
And I think this is where there's a game of inches, you know. So when his opponent didn't take that third squat, having that slightly smaller opener on the bench gives him that wiggle room and gives him a little bit more confidence. And now the pressure goes on to Lugo, opposed to him.
And speaking of Lugo, 220 kilos, 485 pounds for his bench opener.
The bar is loaded for Enrique Lugo.
You know, Lugo had, at one point, obviously I'm running King of the Lifts, and you dipped into my DMs and told me, you're going to hear about me in 2022. And I tell you what, it didn't take long. Just a few weeks later, here we are, and I'm already impressed. fast off the chest, a little bit of work at the lockout, but he gets 3 white lights. You know, you got to be careful now, unless this is the way he always benches, and it always slows down around putting on a show today. And Lugo, 225 kilos on the bar for his second attempt, 496 pounds, and that is Matt Gary over his shoulder now.
Bar is loaded for Enrique Lugo.
When did that happen? What is going on here? Matt Gary, arm crossed, and has taken a hold of the wheel for Lugo. If you're in a battle, he's a good general to have.
Lugo's trying to put this away. If he can make this move, he's going to be in a really good position going into deadlifts.
It's funny, you're at a big competition like this, you see some legendary handlers, and you just get lucky. You're like, sir, I'll buy you dinner if you handle me in this afternoon. There it is.
I think this is big, assuming 3 white lights. I think this is big because he's already in first. And opening up a little bit higher on deadlifts as well, this is just a way for him to put the nail in the coffin. You know, looking at...
Raise the bar to 507 pounds. Enrique Lugo is next up.
230 kilos being loaded for Lugo. We're back in the 120s. There's classic arms crossed Matt Gary pose. If Joey Flex has his classic pose, Matt Gary has his as well with the arms crossed.
Yes, sir.
Spot him on the other side of a barbecue any day. And Lugo looking to pick up 5 kilo and just increase that lead on Tristan Nazelrod. Really wants to, when you got a lead and you're the bigger deadlifter, you want to take away the hope of who's trying to chase you.
Yeah, you have to put the nail in the coffin. You have to make your opponent just overthink and second guess, and especially in a strength sport, if you're not mentally there, the weight is unforgiving. So you have to make sure that you're 100%. See what happens here.
230 kilos.
This is big.
Oh, 507 pounds.
That's big.
And it's good. Lugo is turning into a monster here at the Powerlifting American Nationals. We have a serious threat for the 120 kilo world title. On the national team.
Yeah, and also the thing about deadlifts is out of all the 3 lifts, deadlifts are just that one lift that sometimes you just pull an ace out of your back pocket and you just do something that nobody ever thought you could do. So maybe we're going to see a big deadlift, a big PR, pull into that lead for the first, but it's going to be interesting to see what the game plan is, especially giving up, you know, one of those attempts earlier on in the meet.
I tell you what, Lugo increased his chances when he recruited Matt Gary somehow in the middle of this competition. There's Matt Gary behind him. I had a conversation with Pete Spence, our producer, and I was like, you know what, this is a tight battle. If Lugo starts missing, Tristan Nazelrod can start hitting. We can see a shift of momentum. Then Pete said those chances diminished once he got Matt Gary in his corner. But Matt Gary doesn't do the lifting for you.
Yeah, you have to be a gamer.
Fatigue comes all of a sudden sometimes too.
Yeah, fatigue, grip, anything.
320 kilos, 705 pounds. Looks smooth. Look at the focus on Lugo's face as he exits the platform. You know, if he's in the lead, but he's not taking his foot off the gas. He knows you can't start celebrating just because you have the lead. It's over when the last deadlift is pulled.
Absolutely.
Now, Lugo missing is out of his control, but him hitting this full on is. He knows what needs to be done to keep his hopes alive to get on Team USA.
This is 727.
It ain't over yet. Fight until the very end, young man.
Okay.
And he does.
There's a lot left.
He does his job.
There's a lot left.
There is too. You're right. I think there is a lot left. You know, I think he's held it back a little bit. That was a well-placed second attempt.
I think it's just all going to dictate what happens right here, right now.
You're right.
And I think once we get this pull, he's going to do whatever he has to do to try to pull into that lead. And we might see a yellow moment here.
The man they call Chief.
The man they call Chief, Lugo. $335 kilos, 738 pounds. And he does it.
Yep.
335. It was work, though.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're comparing to Tristan Nazelrod's, it was work, though, but he clinched it.
So, yeah, definitely not as much left as there was for Tristan's, which will be very interesting as to what happens on these third deads.
I agree.
This is it. You want to get that ticket. You want to punch your slot. You got to go all in now. 10 toes down.
Pablo showing the heart of a lion. Misses. Says, no, sir, this is not how my day ends.
55 for Enrique Lugo, the Chief.
And the Chief, Lugo.
755 is loaded.
Matt Gary
Enrique Lugo.
hangs over his shoulder. 342.5 kilos on the bar. 755 pounds.
Can he put it away?
Lugo can put this out of reach for Tristan Nazelrod right now. Oh, whoa!
Wow.
I think he's done it.
Wow.
Chief has done it.
Finish the day.
What a way to finish the day for that young man. What a way to finish the day for Lugo. Beautiful last pull. 900 and let me take a look at his total. 920 kilos. And Tristan Nazelrod looking for the Hail Mary pass to take it from Lugo. This is
where champions are made. This is why you're here. You're not here to come out and leave gas in the tank. You leave it on E.
800 pounds. Look at Tristan working himself into a frenzy. A pull, this would be the craziest. This is the Hail Mary pass.
Empty the tank.
Yeah.
Bet on yourself and empty the tank.
You know what? He's got nothing to lose. He wants to go to the World Championships. He's got a dream.
Earn it. Earn it, my man.
When he goes to sleep at night, he dreams of USA across his chest. It's up to you, young man.
Who do you want to be?
Oh! Talk about hard on him, too, though. 800 pounds to his knees. Tristan Nazelrod giving Matt Gary and Lugo a bit of a scare there.
You can see it in his face. He gave everything he had.
Yeah, that is what it's about.
He had nothing left. He gave everything.
Leave it on the platform. Right down, listen. We thought, you know what, Lugo's starting to run away with it a little bit. Tristan Nazelrod's like, I'm not out of this fight. And 800 came to his knees.
100%. I mean, and that's why that last deadlift was so important. He misses that last deadlift, and all of a sudden you get to pull back a couple of kilos, and we might have somebody else going to the World Championship.
All right, so in closing, this was like by far one of the most incredible experiences of my life. I just want to say thank you to, first of all, my family, my brothers in iron, Jesus, Pablo, Mikey, and everybody else. Y'all know who y'all are, honestly. I'd like to say thank you to one of my mentors, Mr. Gene Bell. He's always been there. I honestly go to him. I see him every day at the gym. And anytime I need advice, anything like that, like, he's always been there, and he's a legend for a reason. So yeah, if you made it this far, I just want to say thank you again so much. It really means the world to me, and I will see you guys again hopefully soon. I need to be doing some more videos like this. I have a lot more information that I think could really benefit the world. It could benefit a lot of like younger lifters coming up. So if you'd like to see more of this stuff, please leave some comments, like the video, share it, and subscribe. Because honestly, I've been doing this for a long time. I've been lifting about 12, 13 years. And I've been powerlifting for about 11. But in my heart, in my mind, this is year one. Like, this is year one of what we are meant to do for the rest of our lives. So without further ado, thank you, and we'll see you on the next one.